Did you know Santa wasn't always the jolly figure we know today? Christmas wasn't celebrated with joy and cheer within the snow-drenched forgotten town of Frost Hollow. On this night, they believed in Santa Claus, but by no means the merry fellow from your childhood tales. Their Santa wore a black suit as black as midnight. Instead of spreading joy, he brings punishment to anyone who rejects the spirit of Christmas. The legend began years ago with a man named Klaus, a kind hermit who lived at the edge of the town. He carved toys for poor children, spreading warmth in the harshest winters. But one bitter Christmas, the town turned against him. They raided his home, stole his food, and left him to freeze to death in the wilderness. Weeks later, his frozen body was discovered clutching a sack of half-made toys and a list of names, the names of everybody who betrayed him. The villagers whispered that Klaus's spirit had cursed Frost Hollow, vowing to return every Christmas Eve to claim the wicked. And that's when the disappearances began. Every year, some cruel or selfish person, those who broke Christmas traditions, would disappear without a trace. All that remained was a single, blood-soaked toy and a chilling note. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. And if you're bad, it's too late. The brutal fate of Emily. Last Christmas, 10-year-old Emily was left home alone while her parents went to a party. She didn't believe in Santa or the ghostly tale of Frost Hollow. That night, as the clock struck midnight, she heard a faint sound, bells jingling in the icy wind. Curious, Emily peeked out the window, expecting to see carolers. Instead, she saw a figure that made her blood run cold. He was a towering, skeletal figure, clad in black, standing under the streetlight. His pale, corpse-like face twisted into a horrifying grin, with eyes that burned like molten coals. His tattered suit dripped with blood and soot, and by his side stood a sack that squirmed and groaned, as if something inside was alive. The figure tilted his head, sniffing the air as if he could sense her fear. Then came the sound of heavy boots stomping on her roof. Emily dove under her bed, clutching a flashlight, as the intruder descended through the chimney. His bony hands dragged a candy cane-shaped hook, its edges jagged and rusted, leaving deep gouges in the wooden floor. Emily held her breath as the figure began to speak, his voice like the creak of ancient wood. "You've been very bad this year." A shriek that split the night. The following morning, when Emily's parents arrived, they found that the house was ominously quiet. The house was quiet. The little girl had vanished. On her bed lay a wooden doll that was exquisitely hand-carved into a perfect replica of her, the little hands in the face stained red with red paint or maybe blood. The sack that Santa was carrying that night remained unopened. Nobody asked what or who could be inside that sack. The curse lives on. The people of Frost Hollow now live in terror of Christmas Eve, making sure to honor every tradition so they don't end up in Klaus's crosshairs. They say if you hear bells jingling late at night, you've already been marked. So this Christmas, remember, be good, or you might just end up as Santa's next victim. Dare to believe that the legend of Frost Hollow can be? Share your comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more scary stories.